Today we're going to talk about the structure of your file folders and your directories, Windows 7 libraries and how they're used, file paths and how you can use file paths to find a folder or a file, context menus, which are the right-click context menus, and some of the more popular commands used by users today, such as cut, copy, paste, select all, and move. Talking about what a file folder is and files and folders in general. The best way to explain how to use files and folders is to think of the file system as a large file cabinet. The file cabinet is your main root directory, and a folder would be considered the same as a file drawer, a drawer that you open and close. Inside of the drawer or folder, you would have subfolders, or in the case of the file cabinet drawer, you would have those manila folders. And then the files would be those items like an email or a document or a picture that goes into that subfolder, or in the case of the drawer, the manila folder. So to back it up and summarize again, the file cabinet is equal to the main directory on your hard drive. The file drawer is equivalent to a folder on your hard drive. A subfolder is the same as the manila folder in the file cabinet drawer, and then the items are equivalent to files, like a picture, an email, or a document. So let's explore what we're talking about here. What we'll do is we'll open up we'll go to the Start menu and we will open up, if you're in XP it would be My Computer, or in Windows 7 it's called Computer. So we'll click on Computer and look at the files as we explained earlier. This C drive is usually the root directory, and that's where your Windows operating system is located. You will have a number of other directories usually under your computer section. You may have what is referred to as an external hard drive, and that's what this is. You will have usually a CD or DVD drive in your computer, and that's this one here. Usually they today say DVD. Then you may have other slots that are available to put like smart media cards in. These are all drives that are built into my particular computer, but there are no cards placed into the slots, so they're inactive. So that's an example of different types of drives. Okay. Now within the C drive, you have this navigation pane here. Shows you all the subdirectories underneath the C drive. Now, so to go back to what we're seeing on the left side to compare it with what's on the right, let's go to Computer on the navigation pane. See the little arrows here. Whenever you see an arrow, you can click on that arrow and it will expand the folders within the main folder. So you see now it's pointed at a 45-degree angle, and all of these folders are the same as what we saw up here. Alright, so now underneath the C drive, which is your main root directory, you click the little arrow, and now all of these folders are subfolders of the C drive. Alright, so again, the C drive is your file cabinet. These are drawers, and within the drawers we have, let's go to, there's My Documents. So these are all subfolders of these upper level folders. Alright, does that make sense? Okay, let's talk a little bit about libraries. This is a new feature for Windows 7 which is extremely handy, and I find personally that it's a great time saver for me because in XP I would have to click 5 or 6 different subfolders in order to get into a folder that I used all of the time. It would have been so nice to have a folder sitting right on your root drive here, your root directory, or a subfolder of the root directory that you could go right to and click one folder and have it pop up. So that's what Libraries has done for us. So let me show you how that works. The library is really, like a shortcut to a file or a folder on your hard drive. So what I've done here is created a few libraries. You will always start out with pictures, videos, music, and documents. Those 4 library folders are always installed with Windows 7. So I just added another one here, and I also added some shortcuts underneath documents. So let me show you how I did that. Let's click the little arrow here and expand the folders underneath. Now these folders are folders that I use all the time. So instead of clicking a bunch of clicks and then having to get this every single time I want to use it, what I did was I created a shortcut called Secretary and one for Financial, Units, and Projects underneath this library. So how did I do that? Well, let's take a look here. All right, so let's go into the computer, which is, the main source that we talked about before. The root directory is C. So let's go into C. And by the way, as you can see up here, we have these little arrows. You can do the same thing from the arrows to find the subfolder as you can from here. So let's go back to C, and we're going to go into Users, and we're going to go into My Computer, and then we're going to go into My Documents, and we're going to go into, where's that example? There it is, Example 1. Okay, so what we did was went into My Documents, and here is Example 1. Now let's say I want to make that a shortcut. It's very simple. All you have to do is right click on it, and this opens what's called the context menu, and you should see Include in Library, and there you go. Now these are the library shortcuts for the main folders over here, right? Where'd they go? They're up here. There they are. So by right clicking and saying Include in the Library, you can pick a folder to put these in. So in this particular case, I'm going to choose Documents. So all I do is left click on Documents, and now I have, under Documents, I have Example 1, and there it is. So now whenever I want to go to my example folder, instead of doing what I did earlier, which was, let's close all of these up. So I would have to go into Computer, C, Users, My Documents, which is here, and then here's Example. And now I finally get to my folder of examples. Now instead of doing that, all I have to do is come in here to Libraries, hit the little arrow, and there's Documents and Example, and there it is. So that's all I had to do, is 3 clicks, and I'm there. So that's an example of how your libraries work. One note of caution I would tell you about is that sometimes, until you get used to this libraries feature, you may go in here and you might try to go here and then click on this folder, and let's say you want to make this a shortcut and make this a part of your library shortcuts. If you right click on here, you won't see the option to add to a library, and the reason for that is because you're already in the libraries folder. See, so you're trying to add something that's already in the libraries folder as a shortcut. What you have to do is go into the actual computer group itself. In this case, you would go to, we'll just use this as a shortcut. This is My Computer, and here's My Documents. Now any one of these you will see Include in Library. See? So you have to use the actual subfolders from the computer and not the subfolders that are inside the libraries. Otherwise you won't get that option.